Hey everybody, back with another video, and today I'm gonna kind of go over how to scan the auction house without being in the game. And if you're like me and you play the auction house a bit, you know that scanning it is a righteous pain in the behind, whatever. Um, it takes forever. Your game can crash. It's annoying. I don't like waiting. And personally, I don't play the game that much anymore as far as rating and stuff, so I'm not on it as many hours in the day as I used to be. But it's nice to be able to scan the auction house without having to be in the game. And if you've watched my videos in the past, you know that I am a huge fan of TradeSkillMaster. It's all I use now. It's where it's at. It's the cat's meow, whatever. And they have a desktop application that ties into your World of Warcraft account and automatically scans the auction house while you're offline or off of the game and automatically uploads auction house information to your tune when you log in. So, enough of the chit chat. I'm going to go over and switch to the program. You can see TradeSkillMaster application. This is it's pretty much a standalone app. Doesn't really involve any installation or anything like that. It's pretty much its own entity, but you can download it from the TradeSkillMaster site, and I will probably include a link at the bottom of the YouTube video. Once you install it, or set it up, basically, you have to help it locate your World of Warcraft directory, and a bunch of settings over here, run its startup, start minimize, blah blah blah. Onto the meat and potatoes. You can add up to 5 servers. See here, all of the World of Warcraft servers, and you have Alliance, Horde, and both. Once you want to add yours, pick it, add it. And after a couple of seconds, ta-da! And if you want to get rid of it, just remove the selected realm. Done. Over here, you can individually check or uncheck the different realms that you have added on the setup menu. And one of the things I want to mention is it doesn't automatically do this for you if you add a new realm, so you kind of have to go over and manually check them. But you can see here, it'll tell you when the last download was and when the next check will be. Essentially, when the last scan was and when the next scan will be. Down here, you can choose how long you want to save scan data. And from personal experience of scanning like 3 or 4 servers, if you set it upwards of 12 hours to a day, the file gets freaking huge. So the more servers you have, I would recommend the lower your retention time would be. Plus, really, you only want the most recent information. So in most cases, you want the most recent information. So personally, I recommend like the 3 to 6 hour range would be fine for really anybody. It's kind of in the middle. It's good for a few servers or a lot of servers. Plus, it means the file won't be freaking huge. Also, you can force update auction house data if you need to, but what's nice is the TradeSkillMaster app kind of has a failsafe because if you do this too often, you will get backslapped by Blizzard. So TradeSkillMaster tries to keep that from happening by graying out the button anytime you've force updated your auction house information, just to keep you from screwing up. If you're like me, you like WoW Auction, simply because they don't update as frequently as Auction DB, so data tends to be a little calmer. It's a lot tougher for people to screw up the market for certain items. And you can see here, same gig. You can individually select your realms. And there's also WoW Auction region data, which is incredibly helpful because I've noticed quite a few items don't have auction DB data for some reason, and that means usually TradeSkillMaster will throw up an error in game anytime you're trying to post, and it'll say, item doesn't exist. Well, that's because there's no auction DB data for it. So hopefully, maybe in another video I'll show you how to correct that. But for now, I recommend setting up WoW auction scan data. Why not? It's another price source, and if you're like me, you want to know what the going rate is for stuff. What's nice is WoW auction has a really detailed tutorial on how to, make TradeSkillMaster desktop app and WoW auction play nice in the sandbox together. And also, there's backup and restore stuff. So if you want to back up your TradeSkillMaster saved variables, meaning I believe your groups, operations, and stuff like that, which I definitely recommend if you're like me and you have thousands and thousands of items saved here, there, and everywhere, you don't want to have to rebuild it in case something happens. So backups are always good. You can purge backups, restore, etc. There's also auction accounting data export. You can choose to export a bunch of stuff if you're into that, but the main reason, along with automatically scanning the auction house, the main reason why I use the TradeSkillMaster application for deal notifications. And go over to the setup tab. You can see here you can choose your account, profiles, stuff like that. You can sync your shopping operations, and basically what this does is you'll choose your server, and any groups that you have shopping operations set up for in-game will show up on here, and all you have to do is put a check mark next to them if you want to receive deal alerts. And over here you can choose to enable email alerts in case it's scanning at home and you're at work and you want to keep up with deals that way. You can also enable app alerts, which means a little pop-up will show up and it'll say there are 30 something new deals on your server. You want to view them. In personal experience, though, I've found that the pop-up tends to crash the entire TradeSkillMaster program and just generally makes the computer sluggy. So I've disabled both of them, and for right now, all it does is down here the icon just kind of flashes a couple of times, and you know that there are new deals. You go over and check them out. And this might seem like a freaking ton of items, and it really is, especially if you're like me and you have, a ton of different groups that you're scanning. It's a lot of items to manually import into the auction house, but luckily you don't have to, thanks to the handy dandy shopping export. If you're scanning multiple servers, select the one that you want from your drop down, highlight all this, control copy, go over to your game, hit up the auction house, control V, because the right click paste dialog doesn't work in game, and wait. And what this does is it's able to take everything from your deal notifications and put it in the game without having to sit there and manually hand type everything, because that is a righteous pain in the behind. And you can see all the items that you have in your deal scanner show up in game, and you can go on and you can buy from there. One of the things I do want to mention is if you have smaller things like your professions and stuff, you have to use a lot of discretion with what's really a deal. And what I mean by that is you have to look at things. I mean, yes, there's a pet who's only available for 40 silver and 7% of market value, but if you hover over it, it really only goes for 5 gold. And if you double click, you've got a lot of competition. So to even have a chance, you have to buy 3, 4, 5, 6 Imperial Silkworms. But if it's a really cool transmog that goes for like 1,000 gold and somebody was silly enough to list it for 5 gold, you're in the money. So that is my quick and hopefully useful tutorial on the TradeSkillMaster desktop application and scanning the auction house without being in game. If you enjoyed this, would you subscribe? And or you don't have to. I mean, you can if you want. I do videos kind of on a regular basis, not really. Really when I think something's useful. So if you found it interesting and you'd like to be notified when there are new videos posted, you can subscribe or don't. It's up to you. But hopefully this was helpful. Till next time.